was there last year or
I
last
was
year.
gonna say, like, come on, I know you know how gorgeous it is right now.
Yeah, I just remember how fucking hot it was. Like, fuck.
Yeah, and then like in the middle of the day, sorry, I got a dentist text. In the
Yeah.
middle of the day, it's like 30 or 20 degrees hotter than the like nighttime at this time of year. It's so annoying. But it's still, yeah, it's minus like the direct sun. It's like perfect, I think. Not as humid as SoCal.
SoCal, yep. Yeah, it's not humid there at all. I
Huh?
I honestly kind of miss the sun. But
Yeah. I mean, I know I'm not from exactly where you are, but like, yeah. No, I totally understand. I cannot live without the sun. Like, my mental health would be like shot, honestly.
right, it's very important, right?
Well, I don't know if it gets so like Ohio, where I'm from, it's like I think there's only like 11 or something days a year of full sunshine. Like, we're constantly overcast and gray in Ohio. So once like the summer's over, like winters are just like so depressing. They're horrible.
I like
Can't do
the
it.
winter. I love snow. It's awesome.
I
Like
like it with an access,
I
but
like
not like
the I like the ice, like when it freezes over the leaves and stuff.
like black ice. Yeah.
No, not like black ice, but that's quite dangerous. I don't know why I would condone that.
You wouldn't condone it, it would just happen. I think well, I call it all black ice because like when it like would hail and then it would just like freeze over. Like, it would hail, rainy sludgy hail, and then it would like freeze over. I don't know, that's causes black ice as well, so just you just like it not on the roads, basically.
Right,
Sounds like.
it's been snowing quite a lot here actually. So,
You probably have cleaner snow than we do where I'm from.
I don't even know what that's supposed to mean.
I'm from an industrial area, so the snow we get, it doesn't last. It's not pretty and it's sludgy,
Oh.
oily and gross. Yeah. I would love snow more if I probably just
Yeah,
like lived in
I'm like in the country area of my
Okay.
neighborhood, so
Yeah.
all right. So, what's up everybody? We're talking to Vegan Patriot today cuz um I just wanted to give her a opportunity to give her side of the story of everything. So, and also just a little bit of information about vegan because I feel like a lot of people have seen her on streams but they don't actually know who she really is. So I think it would be cool if we could get to know vegan today. And just be really respectful of her in chat, please. What are you guys saying in chat?
And I can't read
Um,
it, so
they're just saying glory hole, glory hole.
of course they are.
Okay. So from what I have kind of learned a bit, just from skimming over what you said in my Discord, it was mostly like an industry thing, and you were kind of like manipulated into it.
I mean, yeah, and like here's the bottom line, like it was so traumatizing for me. I've only told 2 people in my whole life about it. I genuinely don't think about it. In my head it didn't happen. And now that I have to face it, like look at it and stuff, yeah, I'm gonna like be straight up. That was one of the biggest I had something recently happen like 2 years ago that was the nail in the coffin, but that was like that wasn't even like online. I just not like initially, like I don't know, like I knew it was a bad idea, but I thought that the guy was going to honor my boundaries and he didn't, and I got stuck in a situation. And honestly, like I've always had normal jobs. So it's kind of gross to me to even think that like, and I worked my ass off. Like I worked 40-hour shifts. Like I was in school,
Right.
and I like saved up 10K to move out west, and like dancing I was okay with because I knew this was the bottom line. Like my dad's never cheated on my
So
mom. My
you
dad
you were a dancer before too.
I was a dancer in like 2012. I started, but I'm really like I started at a club that taught me like hella etiquette. Like it was an air dance club, which I guess they really don't exist anymore in Ohio. And like it had all these extra events. So like it was a lot cleaner and
Mhm.
way different than clubs out west. But I learned there. And so I guess like I was comfortable as long as I was at clubs that were clean. So even when I came out west, like I would never fucking dance in California again, ever. You wouldn't be able to pay me to do it. But it still was like, I think I was in Arizona. So yeah, I had had a surgery and then that was coming up with a copay. I
Mhm.
had a crazy roommate I just started a room with, and then she left because she was crazy, and so I went from a $550 rent to an $1,100 rent. So
Whoa.
like, yeah,
Oh, bitches
yeah.
be crazy.
What? Where was I supposed to? I mean, and I didn't even like think that. Like, honestly, if he had just said that was the only option at the beginning, I would have never gone in to start with. I would have. I don't know what I would have done. I mean, it would have been maybe me crying to my mom, me just trying to dance and trying to make it happen. I would have sold probably some things, but like I wouldn't have just walked into this plain and simple the way I was presented with it for. But like at the point that I got in, yeah, no, I made that decision. I continued with it, but would I that's not it's not something I agreed with. It's not I again from the start I told the guy like what I was and wasn't comfortable with. So it was all
Right,
just
so you placed boundaries and he just didn't give a fuck.
nope, correct.
Okay, who so you needed rent money. You couldn't get a
I
job, you were
just needed
dancing.
money in general, but yeah, like I mean, I don't know if you've noticed, but normal jobs, you can work your ass off and you're going to be stuck in a rat race without moving ahead. So anything I've done has been meant to like get me from A to B, but it wasn't ever meant to be like a career. So like even when I danced, I always had my regular job and then I would dance and put like I would use my regular job for actual bills and then for savings or whatever, I would use it to dance. And the way that helped me was because I knew I didn't have to cross any boundaries I wasn't comfortable with because I would have my regular bills paid for.
Mhm.
So I knew that I didn't have to depend on anything at a strip club and everything else would have just gone into a savings, you know? So yeah, I mean, I've had boundaries.
So
I have
that's
much stronger ones now, but I've always had them to an extent.
so that's around the time that this video was like taken or one of the
No,
videos
okay,
or all of
so
them. How many videos are there?
of something like that, fucking one.
Just that one
And
video.
oh yeah. Oh
Okay.
yeah. Like I said, there's a reason I'm not freaking out about the
You
pink
did
cup
it
stuff
once and you're like,
because
"Hell no."
I
No.
mean, I was crying, dude. Like I didn't want to do it and I have bad
Whoa.
gag reflexes. Like it wasn't I don't give people I care about head. Like there was no reason I would have walked myself on into that. Like I just had that was not no. And I've actually had friends that have been in much worse
You
situations than me, by the way. So I've been pretty
So like you were never the kind of girl who went to the bar and would just like try to find like somebody to get to dick you down really good, like make you squirt and come.
I wasn't super sexual and the guy I was off and on with for like 4 years, like um I mean, he was the only one I wanted. I do end up like if I
Okay,
do get
yeah.
sexual, I'm kind of like into one person, and that's how I've always been. And honestly, like I don't know about you, but I'm from Cleveland, and everybody's super degenerate. And like honestly, like the way I grew up, feminism was stronger than possible, you know. And I was all into like, well, I'll figure it out myself if someone else won't figure it out for me vibe,
Yeah,
you
figure
know.
it
And
out.
like, right, well, and I'm still like that, but like I'm choosing the slower route now instead of the faster route, which I was so skeptical about streaming because like that was kind of how I like any exploitation. It doesn't matter if if it's funny and you don't care, that's fine. But like exploiting other people who don't know what's going on or yourself in a manner that gives you mental health issues, like
It's
that's the
funny
internet.
to be exploited, you said?
If you're into it, if that's like something you're into, I don't know. I mean, you exploit people who don't know. My bottom line is, I'm not about it. If you don't know what's going
True.
on, I'm not, like, I don't know. I feel 1,000 different emotions because typically, like,
Emotions, huh?
well, emotions, and I don't want to talk about this part on camera. That's kind of why I'm hesitating. But like, yeah. I mean, I normally, generally, that's my biggest thing is putting people in a line of fire they don't understand that they're getting into. And that's how I see the internet as much as I would see the sex industry. And that was kind of why I wanted to avoid it. But it's worse
So
online because they're
how did you meet the guy who filmed this? What got you into like the industry? Did you reach out for somebody? Were you
nope,
looking on like newspaper ads? How did it like
nope. That's a really good question. So I never sought it out. I never looked for any of it. If I ever got involved in anything that was like
any
within that
of
range.
it? Not I mean just specifically this video.
Well, that video and the pink cuffs thing are actually, I got introduced by the same girl who was an amateur porn star and she wanted me to do more porn. And I was like, no. And I gave her the same
The what cuff?
pink cuffs, the prison outfit one.
I didn't see
Oh, well,
I didn't see that one.
that is fetish modeling, not porn.
Oh, it's my
BTC.
Oh, okay.
And the guy, I know the photographer, and he's known my lines and he's been really respectful of them. And like, he even deleted that one video, but somebody obviously found it of me topless.
It's the
But
same guy who took the pictures. The
no,
guy who
they're
took.
different. They're different. No, this
Uh,
guy is my friend. The pink cuffs photographer. Like, I was just talking to him a few minutes
how
ago, and
would
he's
how'd you meet him?
through the same girl
Okay.
because we danced together. She
Yeah,
was
yeah,
a
yeah,
train.
yeah.
Yeah, we danced together. She was a train wreck though, and like for me, like again,
Mhm.
like I had my specific limit.
True, true. Oh, hold on. You're muted. You're muted. You're. I can't hear you. There's a. I can't hear. Can you hear me? Blink if you can hear me. Can you hear me? Hello. Did you get a call or something? O- Open Discord. Open this. Are you okay? Hold on, hold on. Let me call. Oh, I can call you back. Hold. Oh shit, my Pepe. No, I was hiding that Pepe. Well, I'm gonna try to see if I can get her to fix it. Oh fuck. Mm. It's not like I can force enter. Oh, should I read this stream out?
Ask Vegan if the producer or anyone involved was Jewish. Not being ANTISEMETICOR anything like that. Also, Alice, if I buy you a drift car, will you go on a date with me?
Yeah.
Also ask Vegan why she hates that dude.
Where the fuck is that sound coming from? Cause it's not coming from my headphones. Has it been doing that the entire time? No, 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 no. Wait, what the fuck? Is this even the right microphone? Fuck me in the ass. Yes, it is the right mic. Wait, we're having issues. Why did that just happen? It's really weird. That's really weird.
Oh, good. Okay.
Oh, I fixed it. What the fuck?
I was so scared. I was like, did I just ruin this whole stream because
No,
my
no,
freaking
no.
alarm went off? Let me make sure there's not any others real quick, just in case.
It was your alarm?
Yeah, my fucking alarm. There's no more on. Okay, so we're cool.
Turn the video back. Or you're fixing it? You're fixing it?
Yeah, I'm trying to come back to you right now. Hold on, let me find you.
It's okay.
There we go. Cool.
Oh, wait. You have the orientation correct now.
Wait, was it not correct before, or is it now?
Yes, I had to flip it on the stream.
Oh yeah, no, my phone just automatically has me set up like hot dog style.
Hot dog.
Like when I got back to the screen and then it like resets itself, I guess. That's what it looks like it's doing. Sorry. Boomer hours. 100. I love you, boomers. Why do you hate me, Rose? Don't you love me?
Okay, yeah, I don't know what the fuck happened, but
Sorry. That was my fault. It was my phone had like two things going off, but the alarm was...
Ironically enough, it was some weird thing happened with my audio output.
Oh. Well, then it's not just me. We're both technical difficulties.
Oh, it has something to do with these specific speakers, I guess.
Well, that's really funny. We were just talking about pink cuffs, and my friend just texted me. He's like really upset about all of this. That's crazy.
Is he getting contacted by people too, or?
Oh yeah, he's getting contacted.
Like his work email and shit.
I'm not sure. He just sent me a couple of things people were just trying to get more information for, and he's like, friend or foe? And I'm like, probably foe.
Mm-hmm.
But just so you know, that's the situation. And
so
he did.
you were down with the modeling, but the video is like what you
I wouldn't have done the modeling if I had any other, if I didn't feel like I needed the money, I would not have. But like, we also hang out just as friends too. Like I can hang out with him without just going to a shoot, but like, it's kind of like, we kind of had some fun because it wasn't like, it's not something I would just put myself into if I didn't need to, like financially. But I don't feel...
Jewish?
Huh?
Is the producer Jewish?
Actually, I think possibly, but I thought, now I don't know. I'm not sure, but I'll ask.
Did he make any money off of the video?
Well, he does, but he pays... I don't even know his system right now because I haven't obviously like done anything.
Well, back then, where was it being hosted? Like was it put onto a DVD or like...
So I think it was Pink Cups was his baby, was the first one. He's had a couple of different sites. I don't know the depths of it because I didn't go because I wanted to go. I went because I needed money, and like, it wasn't like I was actually interested in the content. So,
You weren't?
No.
But I don't know, I think you seemed like a pretty good actress.
Well, I mean, I have poker face all the time.
Yeah,
so
it seemed like you knew what you were talking about. I don't know.
No, I mean, well, honestly, like, let's be real. I'm going to say this out loud. Chicken was right. I'm not experienced with sex because I haven't had a lot. And so, like, the bottom line is, though, like, people think that I'm good with it just because, like, I can move and I can dance.
How was my ex, by the way? How was it?
I'll ask you first. What was your favorite part about Chicken Andy?
Can you guess? He's such a
yeah,
little twink.
I mean, I don't know. I really just thought that we were just having fun, like, just because.
I know,
like,
it's fun. Oh my god. Yeah. No, that would be like, you're just like, Like, what was the thought process behind, like, you cannot be that down bad for money unless you're, like, addicted to drugs or you're homeless. Like, you cannot be that down bad.
Are you talking about for a chicken?
No, for this video. I mean, do you want to talk about chicken? Because I don't,
Oh wait, no,
honestly.
we're just bouncing back and forth on topics, so I'm so confused. Yeah. I'm like, where are we going? So are we talking about the pink cuffs or are we talking about the other video?
My main thing that I know about is the glory hole video.
Which is the one video that, like I said, only 2 people in the whole world knew about it. I completely put it away in my brain. I never wanted to think about it again.
Mm-hmm.
So the pink cuffs, though, like I said, I got introduced to that stuff from the same girl. It was all within the same time frame. Like it wasn't like, I want to say it was like 2014 or 15. And I would have just moved cities. I went from, well, I didn't, okay, so I've let a lot of people live with me for free.
Mm-hmm.
And when the one girl moved out of the first place, she did it. So first she was late on rent for starters. And then she told me to go dance to cover the penalties, which was like, huh, why don't you go dance? What are you talking about? It's your problem. I had the money. So
Right.
she,
That
long
makes
story short,
sense.
she just, yeah, well, obviously, right? Because like I don't know. People just like they would tell me that sometimes too. Like, can you just go dance and make money? Like, it's just like there, like make your own motherfucking money. But
Mm-hmm.
anyways, like, with this chick, like she basically like was
That's
crazy.
very ridiculous. That does not make sense.
I mean, I guess if I were a user, and I don't know what users really feel like because I'm usually a giver, and I would rather like avoid asking for help most of the time than having people I think as my friends like look at me like I'm using them. I mean, obviously, like we all do, whether or not it's intentional or not, or like conscious, really, I guess. But um, yeah. And you're gonna feel free to like keep redirecting the conversation because I'm so tired. Like I said, I didn't realize I haven't eaten in 2 days, but I'm not hungry, so I guess I'm
Right.
just gonna.
Is this causing a lot of stress on you to the point where you're having difficulties eating something other than pickle juice?
I think I didn't even drink for the one. Like I don't know. I don't know. I feel like here's the thing. All of this stuff
You
was stuff
described
that.
it as your worst nightmare.
Yeah, well, like I said, all this stuff is the reason that I would never, not just this stuff, but period. I don't, here's the thing. Again, people behind the scenes knew information if I felt comfortable with them.
Mm-hmm.
But like, you don't just say that shit online as the first thing you introduce yourself as. Like, that's kind of obviously the first way. Like, I obviously, like, at my core, I've grown up and I've drawn harder lines than I did when I was younger. And I'm obviously paying for it because I have no money. So, and the older I've gotten, the more my medical
So
fears.
there was absolutely no reason at all for this video to have been spread on any sort of internet website, DVD, iPod. There was absolutely no one until this point right now.
Yep. And they've had this, whoever's had it on Kiwi Farms or in the Discord, they've had it for a while. Like I read chats and everything like that. So I was reading a lot of comments that were like, oh yeah, we've been waiting to put this out just at the right time. Like,
So
okay.
it was just you and your friends, and you're like, hey, this is a way for us to make money.
With the pink cuffs thing, yes. With the glory hole shit, I'm not gonna lie, like, because I was supposed to go in to do this hand job thing, right?
They
Now, this girl
tricked
that
you, huh?
introduced me to all of it, like, I don't know, like, she's a professional amateur porn star, but like the guy that I let live with me at the time, like he knew about her and everything too. Like, I don't know, but she was a hot train wreck, and I just needed, like I said, like there was just supplementing money, like I would take side jobs, and I was like, okay, like the pink cuffs thing was fine with me as a side job, just to fill what I needed to fill. But no, the glory hole, the hand job thing, like
Whoa.
it just kind of convinced me into like I honestly like I never thought it was a good idea, but I thought I was safe enough that I could do something that I needed to do and not have the world like identify me with that, you know? And I never
Yeah.
thought like I said, my dad's never cheated on my mom. Like he's not a perfect person, but like he loves her so much, and he's the reason that like I've never wanted him to come across anything about me. And I figured, like, in a strip club, like, that would never happen because he would never go into one. But what if he was just like online or something and like saw all that shit, like that would crush him. Like that would crush him.
Do you think he
And it would
knows
make him
about it yet?
feel well, he knows. So here's the thing too, by the way. So the dancing thing my mom was actually aware of the whole time. Has been the whole time, just for the
Right, that's
record.
your mom's always got your back, right?
Yes, except that it turned into kind of that mentality where like when I was really having medical issues, um I mean, there wasn't like a whole lot I could do, and I had pushed myself so much at a younger age, and I definitely caused
What
more
kind of
trauma.
Do you mind if I ask, or
I have a dysautonomic condition called postural orthostatic tachycardia. It's idiopathic, and it can be caused by a variety of things. And after 2020, it is now one of the most heavily funded conditions that pharma has now created 2 medications for after ignoring it as a condition for decades.
is the
So
medication very expensive and treatment, or
I wouldn't take the meds they have at this point, anyways, because here's the bottom line: like the treatment should not be uniform if it's idiopathic. Do you know what idiopathic means?
no? I don't.
Okay, so I was born with a connective tissue disorder. I was kicked in the head by my horse when I was 12, and I've had horrible headaches ever since. However, I was covered for chiropractic care. I was covered for craniosacral until I was basically like 18 or something like that. So I've had these issues for a very long time. And then I think I moved out when I was like late 18, and I was grinding, just trying to get everything together. And what we like, people that have pots, like, again, it's not always for the same reason. So what we think with mine is that like I get like when I get headaches, I get like a clear odorless fluid that comes out of my ears, and there's not really much else that can be besides cerebral spinal fluid leaks. And then there's also, you
Holy
guys can feel
shit!
really, yeah. So like when I've had chiropractors, they look at my neck and my head and they're like, "Oh my god, it's a mess back there." But in reality, like if I have occipital neuralgia, which is what a lot of the doctors I've recently spoken with think is very likely, and then I went to Ohio for 7 months in 2019 to find a specialist, and she was supposed to help me in Arizona. That was her claim. She was in network with POTS, Dysautonomia Network. Um, and like basically like she didn't lie, but she definitely oversold how accessible she was from across the country. So we got me her. She didn't take any tests. She just pretty much gave me paperworks and documents on all the things I had concerns with and was like, "You're probably right." That was literally what I got. And you get that a lot. And unfortunately, there's a lot of burnout with the medical industry where you will, if you need a certain kind of specialist like I did, you end up kind of waiting forever. Like, I remember I was given grade deductions in college because I couldn't make it to class on time or I had to leave early, and they would take off points for that.
Wow.
So, like, just to get to the doctor, yeah. And not to mention copays. Like, I got bit by a cat at work, and it ate a raw diet, and its tooth like went all the way into my knuckle. Like, oh my god, like
Wow.
the expenses out of pocket, like just for the copays for that, was insane. That was before I was off my dad's insurance. And then and I don't agree with Obamacare, by the way, for
That
all of
must
you.
have been very like traumatic, like going through all of that.
I think it's like ongoing trauma, right? So I don't know if that's just trauma or if it's just like life. I'm not really sure.
Yeah, like it must be a huge like struggle for you.
It's really hard, and I was really kind of excited when I started to get to know like Baked in Them, because my good friends here, they don't really go out or do anything, and like I'm obviously like I live by myself, like, and for a couple of years I was still working really hard, but I didn't have a social life because I was so sick. And so like what I would that was how I got into the internet stuff, was because I would spend so much time like, oh yeah, and there's a reason I don't trust the police either, but since I'm just going to shut my mouth about that now. I would have loved to have advocated for that, but
The
it's
police?
not the time to do that. There no, yeah. Well, it was it's a different situation, totally different situation.
Right, fuck
But I was
12.
scared.
Fuck
Huh?
12. Fuck 12. Mhm.
I mean, like, I'm all about the individual, like, honestly, but like our system is the problem. It's broken, and it's it's meant to keep people down that are already down. That's really what it is. What is the saying? Like, if it's not a law, if you have to pay for it and you don't get anything, it's a fine. And if you can't afford that fine, then you get a charge. Like that's reality with our system in a lot of cases. If you can't afford to fight things, you kind of just get screwed, which is like, yeah, obviously. So yeah, obviously, like I'm with you on that. I'm not going to talk about that right now, but where was I tangenting off with that? Remind me your question
Baked.
specifically.
You're really
Oh
just
yeah.
excited about baked and
Well, I just was excited about meeting people that like. So okay, so I got basically I was really sick, you know, whatever, and then I was pretty much like in my room a lot when I wasn't working because I didn't feel good or I had such bad headaches. Like, you know, like I throw up a lot when I have a headadeche because the pain's like that bad. So if you guys want to
whoa.
Google occipital neuralgia or cerebral spinal fluid leaks, what we
That
think
sucks.
is likely. Yeah. It's in my head. It's like literally like all like right here. So I run out of energy really fast too. That's part of it. It's kind of why I'm like not super sexual because I don't ever have energy and I'm not usually like. I mean, I was talking to a guy for months before I hooked up with Chicken, and I had just kind of ghosted him because like I didn't have time, and that was kind of what happened when I started getting sick. Except for like right now, this was supposed to be me focusing on getting my notary stuff and trying to do wholesome streams, but you know, whatever. So I've been like slowly attempting to not fall under for a very long time, basically. I've been trying to do it within my parameters of what I believe in and I am like comfortable with. Obviously hasn't worked out perfectly, but I know people that like, trust me, I know a lot of escorts in Southern California and they hate their lives. Okay, like they hate their lives because there's this whole psychological game to it. It's why I don't really mess with simps too much online. Like if there was content, like you know, like do it, like go for it, like please, like if it's good content. But I wanted to just stream more for fun because I knew that like this is a volatile world. So I've just been trying to pick stuff back up together and like baked. Like I got into like the political spectrum because I was stuck in bed more. Before that, I really didn't mess with the internet. I avoided it. Like when I graduated, that was like I don't know. Can I ask you what you were doing in 2010, Alice? Just not as a troll, just genuinely
Oh,
asking.
right. So in 2010, I was a gay furry role player online.
And that was like, how old were you? You were like not
10.
that old.
I was like
That's
11.
disgusting. That's disgusting.
Yeah,
That's
cuz I
fucking.
got because I was groomed by like furries and stuff. And I had a really shitty childhood, but I don't think at
So
that
that's
point I don't think there was gay shit at that point yet. It was like and it was never like serious, but yes, I was a furry.
See, and I don't even know the depths of what is all the furry culture. I've heard of it. I know a lot of people talk of it, but
At that point I didn't understand it either. I was just a kid who wanted to make cool artwork and hang out online.
10 years old, dude. That's so well. That was the year that like, so that was
It yeah, I mean it was a few years before it got like into the like into the weird stuff, but
okay.
I
Well,
was
either way,
like
though, like you said, you were
I
kind of
I had a really fucked up childhood, and part of a lot of that also is related to why I hate my disdain for like anything in the porn industry, or why I'm
yeah.
so like repulsed by like stuff like that, and also why I can be like sometimes hypersexual. Like so had a lot have a lot of like weird like problems
Well,
in
it's
that
your
regard.
development, you're developing, right? So like that's kind of what my concern is because I was 20 when you were like that age, right? So basically I wasn't fully developed anymore like than you were, but I also had a lot more life experience. So like, you know, I still feel like I would have been feeling like if I would have been your age, I would have been nowhere close to anything like that. But it's like society and it's the internet culture. And it's like, how are we all going to really develop after all of this? Because this is like what my biggest concern is. And like, that's a really good example.
Right, exactly. The porn industry itself is just really fucked up.
Well, and it's like, yeah, you can do it cleanly if you're like careful, but even when you're careful, like I was, like there's situations that you find yourself in, and it's like, it's not that you don't, or it's not that you want it to necessarily happen. It's just like that's kind of the situation you're already like thrown in, and you don't really know. Like, I mean, it's like it is. There's, I guess, grooming is a good word for some of it, but not necessarily with me. But just like with some of this stuff, like I have I've heard some really disturbing stories, and I know girls that would just go off with random strangers. Like that's terrifying to me too, but like as an adult, like you still make those decisions. But like yeah, like that's disgusting because that was the year when everything, I feel like the
I don't
Tumblr
give a fuck.
situation was a big deal, and like I was walking away from the internet around that time.
Yeah, that's
Like
why I
for
always. I mean, I wish like all technology would be just destroyed, and I
it could,
100% believe that.
yeah. No, I'm with you on that too. I mean, it's helpful, but it's not even sustainable. Like it's gonna implode eventually, and no one's gonna know how to fucking handle it too. So there's that. But
Well, in a way, hasn't your metaverse kind of imploded now? Like the internet is such is like kind of detached from reality, but now it's like no, the internet is like
yeah,
infinite
yeah,
and
and
it
I
is a
mean,
part of like real life and
yeah,
it
and that's
is real
that's
life
why
at
I
this
didn't want that
point.
crossover. That's why I was a viewer for so long and a
Mhm.
side character, because I feel like once people have a fixation on you, it, if I would have sooner talked about any, because I've alluded to doing stuff like the, not, I'm gonna say furry stuff, but the fetish stuff. I
Oh,
would
hell
have
yeah.
like brought it up sooner to talk about stuff like this. I wanted to make sure that my identity wasn't locked down on that initially though. Like
Wait,
and
so what kind of fetish stuff was it?
I think there was like balloons and, well, it's pink cuffs. It's like, I think it's, he's just really into cuffs. I think it's like a bondage thing.
Can you send me
Um
can I look at it right now or is
they're
that
all
weird?
over. They're all over
Would you be
IP2Go.
uncomfortable if I looked at it right now?
No, go for it.
They're all I just the first thing I saw when I woke up cuz I sleep on this floor right here and um usually I wake up and I'm still drunk, but today I wasn't drunk. And I opened up my computer and I just saw like something like dick by proxy, black sucking black dick by proxy.
Yeah, guys, thank you for the, for whoever has been planning this. I just want you to know that like I'm still here, but I mean, I'm literally like, this is, somebody actually wants to destroy me right now. So it's
Mhm.
not that specifically, it's all of it.
Oh,
And
okay.
you see some of them?
No, I'm not looking at chat or anything. I'm just worried like if people are targeting you, I just don't want them coming after me, that's all.
Well, I mean, yeah, I don't know who's behind this, but it's like there was obviously like, and like I told you earlier, like how, oh, so do we want to get into the timeline of my logic on a
You
lot of
should
things?
just
Like,
you should just assume that you do know, assume that it's correct and attack everyone that you suspect until one of them admits it.
nah, that sounds like more drama I just don't need. I'm not, it's just stress I don't have energy for.
That
And
would
I
be
think
more
people,
drama.
yeah, exactly. And I think that people know that about me too when they start shit like that. Like, okay, she doesn't have time or energy to even really like, I'm not gonna not fight back. And I obviously will like be clear about what I need to be clear with when I'm asked directly. But like, yeah, no, I mean, I don't know. All of this was like, to me, it was just so odd, the timing of how things lined up. And like I told you earlier, how do I know you're not involved? Because the timing's good. But then on the other hand, like maybe you were just placed in certain situations with certain stuff that, I mean, I would love to know, you know, who's friend and foe, but I also kind of am over trying to figure it out right now. Like this conversation right now that we're having, it isn't the reason that I got online, but it's one of the biggest things I did eventually want to talk about. I wanted to, you know, but again, like I didn't need it locked on my identity
Mhm.
immediately. So, like this is fine. I mean, this isn't actually my biggest issue, cuz like again, even with my mom, like she technically knew about it. And what happened to me in the club like 2 years ago, my dog's teeth were rotting out of her mouth. I had just gotten back from Ohio. My mom had covered the Wi-Fi and electricity until I got back. And then she just stopped, okay? So I was like, all right, well, I need to, pay my bills like within like a super short notice. And so what do you do with that? You try to dance. And so I didn't want to, but I did. And I went to a club that wasn't one that I approved of because I thought that I was friends with a bouncer I'd known for a long time
Yeah.
because he'd always protected me. And he was always really good. He knew I didn't like being touched. He knew he knew what I was okay with, and he actually just turned on me. Like this is like it's so funny to see people telling me I'm a victim for like talking about this. Like I think a
I'm not
victim was
surprised. So, what
yeah.
kind of club was it? Was
It
this at
was
the
just
really nice one?
no. I used to only be at really nice ones. So what happened with the last one was the owner of it basically like fight. This never happens to dancers, but like the owner basically like he pissed a bunch of people off.
Okay.
He doesn't own the full club. He owns stock in it or something like that. I don't know all the details. I don't care.
He's just like a
Again,
partner.
it was just stuff I no. It was like a well. There's two. There was one in OC and then Phoenix. But the one that I had the scary stuff happen. The other thing was too. The cops patrolled the first club I was in all the time, which meant my competition was never dirty because
Yeah.
they're not gonna allow
That's
that
good.
stuff if the cops are coming in all the time, right?
I didn't know
So
there were clubs like that. I just assumed that they were all scummy
they're
places.
not all the same. But the bottom line is, even at the cleaner ones, like it's still like a mental thing, right? You have to pretend you care about people you don't know, you don't care about.
Yeah, but
You
I
have to.
mean, that must be
And
really rough cuz that must be really difficult. I don't know. Were you good at like talking to the guys and stuff? Was it just the old guys?
mostly for me, yeah. And I honestly like I still have a medical disability, but I knew that like if I talked more and I could get more money for talking than giving lap dances, I usually made more. And
You made
you
more
have to give.
talking to them,
Yeah, I mean, I obviously know how to dance, and I
but
gave
you
lap
preferred
dances.
dancing and playing on around on the pole and stuff like that.
If I'm gonna dance, it's for me. I mean, but the bottom line is like I would have
Mhm.
gotten like I remember we've had seasons here, and I have had people that have just given me a couple $100 just for talking, or you can make a couple $100 working your ass off, which is fine if you don't have a medical condition where you get dizzy and faint when you bend up and down too much, right?
Did that
So like
happen to you?
oh, I fainted before, but I haven't fainted dancing. But I've almost fainted, and the basically the end of the one place was they pretty much were like they fired all the good staff that actually cared about my medical issues and like helped me out. Like if I couldn't go on stage, like they wouldn't make me, because they knew like okay, well she'll still make money on the floor, right? Well, when all these people got fired, long story short, like I was treated like nothing.
They
Which
weren't making
happens in
enough
clubs.
money and they needed to like exploit you guys.
Well,
Or
exactly. Or like they didn't, they just had, there was no compassion at that point. And so I tried to find clubs where the people I knew had been spread out in. And the one guy, like I said, like I followed him to a club that was actually like
what guy?
pretty dirty. Huh?
What guy?
The one bouncer. So like, here's the incident that basically happened. Like I wasn't going to dance again. I was hoping I didn't have to. And then, like I said, I kind of like, I got back home 2 weeks. My mom took away my Wi-Fi and my internet after like paying for it
Wait,
for
wait.
almost a year.
When's the
Like
when's the last time you danced?
2020, the very beginning of it, and that was the last. This story I'm telling you is the very last time I danced. The guy basically choked me. There was this dude I was giving a dance for, right? And like I'm used to the bouncer. I knew like he had my back usually, but I don't know. He was in some kind of a fucking mood, and he walked in there. This
Was
guy
the,
like grabs me by the neck and pulls me down and shoves his fucking slimy ass fucking tongue in my ear and my eyes and my face. Okay.
your
Um,
eyes?
what?
He's licked your eyes?
It was all over my face. Yeah.
What'd
But like
you do?
it
What
like was
happened? What happened? What happened? What happened? What happened?
well, what
Oh,
was scary was that I couldn't like get up from it, and I've never been in a
he
situation where
pinned
that
you
was
down? Wait, were you
yeah,
like
he
sitting
had me
down?
held down with
You
his
were
arm
giving
like
him a lap dance.
yeah, he wrapped his arm around my neck and pretty much like I didn't know what to do because like I couldn't move, and like then I was like, okay, well the bouncer came in, he looked at it, ignored it, and walked the fuck back out. And then he yelled at me for it afterwards and then told me to stop being a victim. And so that was when I said I'm never gonna dance ever again. Of course I've had moments where I almost felt like I needed to. Luckily I haven't had to yet, but like yeah, like that was scary, and I've never been in a situation like that at a club.
That's
Much less if I was,
terrifying. That is disgusting. You could
yeah.
get an ST. He could have given you a disease.
Well, it wasn't consensual, so. But does that matter? We're not.
Did
You don't
he
matter
didn't
in
call?
sex.
Okay, so what do you do at that point as a dancer if the bouncer doesn't help you? Do you move to
I.
the club? Do
I
you
mean,
tell the management? Like, do you try to get the
he was the manager too. He was a bouncer and a manager that day. But I mean, I did, and basically the guy got fired because I guess he was just being a dick about a lot of things to a lot of people there.
did
So
you
I mean,
tell? Do you tell on him when when that happens? Do they care when you tell on them? What do they do?
in a club like that, not really. I don't feel like. I mean, if I would have said that
Thank
in one of
God
the
he was fired.
clubs, he was fired because he was just a dick in general and decided to piss a bunch of people off. So he just really basically I just didn't matter. I think he was a simp the longest time before simp was a thing. I think he was a simp that I thought was my friend, and like he's had other female characters in his life. So I like that where he was dating. So like of course I wasn't like ever like romantically attached to him. So I just thought that he was a friend. Naive little me, I don't know. He just had, I know his mom died and he had all these things happen, and like he was just a dick to everybody at the end. I don't know where he's at now. It doesn't matter, but
That's
I
so
did kind of get
gross.
an apology
How
from
much? How much did that guy tip you that licked your face?
I don't think he tipped me at all. I think I remember like the fastest I got up was as soon as I felt like pressure release from my throat and I could get out of his grip. Like I was trying to wriggle out of it the whole time, but like he had me like I mean, I just didn't know what to fucking like. I had no control over that. Normally, if a guy tries to grab you, it's in an area that you have more like mobility in, right? Like, I didn't really have much. He kind of like, like my arms were kind of slightly pinned down, and I was like, what the fuck? And like, I did
Yeah,
put
what
my
the
hands
frick?
on him to like push myself off, but until he released his grip, I couldn't just push myself off. And that's normally what I would have done is I would have this really artsy way of kind of like, brushing hands off or making sure I stayed extra far away from like a certain grabby person, right? And then in the clean
What a
clubs,
freaking weirdo.
what happens if a manager sees that going on, they will kick the dude out.
Yeah,
I've actually had
dude.
champagne rooms where dudes try to get handsy and the dudes got kicked out. So
Yeah,
I still
and
got to see
fucking
like
banned. Some like I would call the police. That's like literally borderline assault.
it was
That's
definitely
so.
assault in a normal setting, but nobody cares about sex workers, and
That's
that's
so
the other
fucked
problem. Like
up.
honestly, like in a club like that, nobody cared. And honestly, it was
Why
rare.
not?
Like
Why do you think people don't care?
because they don't. I mean, that's just a general like pop. Look at this world. Look at this internet that we're talking about right now, right? So like I
Yeah.
know how people are treated with certain contexts and certain situations,
Mm,
which again is why I didn't just start out with all this information when I did get a following. Although, like I said, this is definitely information. There's a reason I'm anti-sex industry. Like, like just because you feel like you need to,
all of the sex industry, or are there parts of it that are okay?
it's not up to me to judge what's okay and what's not if it's not hurting other people and it's not manipulative. If you like sex and you want to go make money doing something, like who the fuck am I to judge, right? But
Yeah.
I've never really been super sexual, so it was never enjoyable for me for those reasons. I'm not the kind of person who gives my energy for no reason either. So if I gave you my energy, I would have probably been friends with some of the people I had good conversations with outside the club, but I couldn't be because I looked at them as a customer. And so there's this whole psychological thing. I actually like the other thing too is when I started to actually get the opportunity to date a little in 2020 because like and that I was streaming more because everybody was on my schedule, right? Like people were worried about being sick, they couldn't afford this or that, whatever. And then me, I was pretty much in the same situation I had been. So it was kind of like people were kind of brought down to my level on a weird level. And so like I had more time, people were more flexible, they were more chill with me. And like so I got into the dating scene and I was just like, oh my God, like I really miss like just looking at a guy and like I couldn't really have good relationships when I was like doing dancing more regularly. Like I couldn't. It part of it was the
Nobody,
medical stuff as that got worse, but it was
they
also
didn't
just
like it, or
I just psychologically, dude, like I had
oh yeah,
resentment
yeah.
for people in those places. I had resentment for the fact that I was doing something I didn't agree with. I had resentment for, and you know, like even like I said, my mom kind of like she kind of was ignoring a lot of stuff that she had already been paying for. And she'll kind of like when things get really hard, like for me, she'll kind of just dissociate and act like I didn't say it or it's not happening until she has to deal with it, which is kind of what happened with the car situation. But
With the car.
the car situation, well, yeah, that was what ruined last year for me. I got hit 3 times and Baked was the
Oh,
third person to
okay.
hit me. But yeah, that was a different that's timeline though wise. Like my mom literally like I told her what happened and she ignored it. She didn't acknowledge it. And that was hard because like dude, like I don't open up and like I just wanted to talk to my mom like something super scary happened to me. And like she just didn't acknowledge it like it didn't happen. And for a whole year like I would try to remind her like of it and she acted like it wasn't a thing until my therapist actually had to like intervene and be like, do you understand your daughter is trying to communicate with you? Like, do you need to do family counseling? But like my family won't do family counseling because it's just apparently me. Even though I'm not the only person in the situations I've been in. But yeah, like dude, that was actually probably the hardest part was that like
Your
I
mom
don't
was
tell people
switching
stuff.
up.
Yeah, like stuff like if it fucks you up, like I'm a private person. I don't like to show my emotions too often. Like it's a Scorpio thing too, but like
I'm a
if I
Scorpio.
show you are you wait, what are you? A
I'm a
Scorpio too?
Scorpio. Yeah.
Ah oh,
But
wasn't
I don't.
there
I
another
believe it.
Scorpio?
I believe it. I don't like thinking about it because it's like sacrilege.
Oh really? I guess I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm a Halloween baby, so I don't.
So you're a Halloween baby?
Yes, ma'am.
Sorry, it just effed for a second.
You're good.
So am I.
Wait, you're a Halloween baby? For real?
No, no, I mean, no, I mean I was born on the 25th. Actually, I'm more of a
Oh.
Libra Scorpio cusp.
I kind of can see Libra cusp because like no, I don't know. I've heard people that'll tell me like they can tell I'm a Scorpio when they just meet me, but on the other hand, like I really don't hold grudges that well, and I'm not super sexual. So, minus that stuff, like I guess people know I'm a Scorpio, but I don't know. Bottom line is like I don't like open up to people very easily unless I like you get me to a point where I'm comfortable enough for it. And I opened up to my mom, who I just needed to talk to, and she
Mhm.
just like it took her a year to acknowledge what happened basically. And then like my dad and grandma didn't know what happened or that I'd ever danced until it got to the point where I'm like, I'm going crazy. I can't go back to this place. You know, like, and I had just, I mean, I've got my pet sits and my clients, but like that wasn't supposed to be forever. Like, I need a job that I can just do. Like, the notary stuff was a huge deal for me. Because like if I don't feel good, it's still small businessy too. So like it just would have fit really well. But yeah, I was just trying to pick stuff back up while doing other things. I mean, I don't know if you saw my house back in the day. It's still not perfect, but it's a lot better than it was when I first came back. Like we threw out a bunch of furniture and I was promised when I threw it out that I get more, and instead like I don't know. I can't explain everything with my mom. Like we've tried to work on some stuff, but yeah, like that sometimes is the situation I'll run into if I do need help. So yeah, you know,
Um.
that was
Okay.
my last time dancing though, thankfully, because it was right before COVID. This was why my mom ended up helping me because everything got shut down, and she still
Fuck
didn't acknowledge
COVID.
what
It
happened.
fucked up everything. Yeah.
Yeah, but she didn't have a choice. She couldn't say, "Oh, just go figure it out," because she knew that the fastest way for me to make money in immediate circumstances was that. And so that's kind of the mentality she started to have once she was like, "Okay, well, you'll figure it out." Figure it out means that I'm going to go strip. Like, because there's no job at all, period, anywhere. Even if so with regular jobs with me, like, even if I was on disability, you only get like 3 days a week,
Oh my
or a month, I'm sorry, where you basically can like be off without penalty, 3 or 4, something like that. So like, long story short, like, I can be sick in the middle of the day, I can be sick at night. My friend Matt, actually, from the other night, when I lived with him, he actually, like, I stayed at his house for a couple months, and he was like, "Well, I didn't understand your condition until like I lived with you."
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, and it is really weird because you do go from like, I can feel totally fine and then I can crash, or I can, feel horrible for half the day. So pet sitting is nice. Anything with a little bit of flexibility where there's like a time range, it always helps to me, because if I'm nauseous, I can try and get some food down before I go out and do something, right? Instead of be late to a normal like hourly shift based job. So that's kind of like, even if I would have gotten a job when I came back, like, there's just no way I can't keep them when I'm gonna get sick and have to recover the next day. Like, it just doesn't work that way. So you have to be creative, and that was why I got into small business and stuff, and like, gig stuff, because I think that a lot of people, like, it doesn't matter if it's internet or not internet based. The bottom line is like, we need to make our own money. Depending on employers isn't really, definitely not the solution unless you already make really good bank with them, and but for me,
Okay.
for sure. So,
Um, I'm gonna read out these super chats. I don't know.
oh God, okay.
Well, super chat. Sorry. Super chat is, I don't know, donations, because said in the description it's $2, but apparently my Streamlabs is 3.
That's it?
Huh?
Is that it? Just, or three? You have 3 donations total.
No. I have a couple, but I messed up how I put the price. How much let's can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
How much money, hypothetically, would it take for you to do furry diaper video for me?
Is this a super chat, or is this an Alice question?
This is that's my super chat question.
Oh, literally nothing. 0. I'm honestly, like, literally, there's a reason I'm still online right now, guys, and it's to show you guys that I'm still gonna be on here, and like, I'm gonna still do it by my rules. So
I said
whatever you
okay,
think.
but hypothetically.
I don't even know what that would even look like or entail, so I have no idea. I just wouldn't. I'm sorry. Like, I just wouldn't, guys. Like, what exactly, what are they even talking about, since I don't really understand fetishes, especially, no offense, I don't understand the
A
furry
gay
fetish.
furry fetish?
Yeah, what are they even asking for, like, content wise?
I don't really know either. I personally am not a gay furry, so I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
But
I'm not super, like, familiar with the culture, so I have no idea what that means. But I'm gonna tell you, like, I have a feeling that's a bait question, and I'm gonna tell you, like, regardless, dude, I probably wouldn't do it.
well, that was my question, but
Wait, your personal question,
yeah,
or someone?
that was my question.
Oh, okay. I thought someone was asking in your chat. That's
But
what I
it
was
was
confused.
more of a joke, not really serious.
Oh, I thought it was a super chat. That's
That's
why I was like,
I know. I thought it was funny that
gotcha.
you thought it was a super chat.
Sorry, my bad. I just thought it was a weirdo that was just being a weirdo. Hypothetically, still same answer. I honestly would rather walk into a semi truck than have to deal with anything I don't agree with
Yeah,
anymore.
that's so gross. One time I knew a guy, he was like kind of my friend. I worked with him at a hibachi restaurant, and
Okay.
me and my other friends, like my whole friend group, we would go to his attic, which he had like a pool table and like everything, like it was set up. We would go after my shifts and go smoke weed and drink beers at this guy's house because we would make him buy us beer and everything. And
He's the one who groomed you, basically. Is that like
no,
pretty much?
no. This is funny as no. I was like 19.
Oh, okay.
Or yeah, I was like 18 or something, working at this hibachi restaurant. My boyfriend was actually the bartender, but
Okay.
and so I would hang out at his house after work and drink beers and smoke weed with him. And then I knew he liked Reddit because I would see it on his computer, and we would be like playing music while we hung out and like played pool and whatever. And one time, and he was like, feel free to look up whatever music you want. And my friend Danny was like messing around on his computer and he couldn't see, I guess. And he brought up his Reddit page, and his Reddit page was full of a bunch of like diaper fetish videos and posts on Reddit. And and then Danny was like, what does that mean? And he asked the guy, who's like, what does ABDL mean? And I started laughing, and I was like, oh, that's like adult, like, I'm like, that's a diaper, that's for like people who like diapers and shit. And everyone was just laughing, and then we all got kind of scared and we left. Also, this guy had an obsession with Beyblades, and he like went through his collection and showed us every single Beyblade that he has. And he like had the arena, and he was like, this one's my favorite, and he would make us battle our Beyblades against each other, and it was like really fucked up. So um what yeah, I said it was $2, so none of these have been reading out. Okay. Why did you mace your friend in that stream? You maced a guy, right? Wait, let's play back the clip. I gotta find it. I watched that. Wait, when was it? What time was that? Fuck.
That's a chat question.
Yes, why did you mace that guy?
I already talked about it on my other stream. So if you wanted to have any insight at all whatsoever to anything that happened, you should have been on it. That's my answer.
Whoa, calling out her simps. You should have been on that stream, dude.
Doesn't sound like a simp.
Or not calling, I mean, you should have been a simp. Fuck.
Probably a better way of framing it, huh? Yeah.
This is the clip. Hold up. Oh, shit.
The ultimate standard.
And then I remember, and then you were running after this guy.
Because he asked you to leave him alone.
Okay. Hey, Matt, do you want me to leave?
You found him. You found him. Okay, because I remember I was here when this happened live. Yeah. I think I was really drunk, though.
I'm leaving.
Doink.
I'm leaving. I'm leaving. Are you safe?
No, I got
He's calling the cops on me, so I'm gonna walk away. Whoa,
Why?
whoa, whoa,
Why? See, as this donator wants to know why. Oh, wait, can we... Do you mind if we watch this, part... if... if... Well, I personally am really curious about it. Is it related... Is this related to the video at all in any way? Oh, nothing to do with this guy. But he's a Discord guy. The guy who maced you. Who you maced. Oh, he's just like your close friend. I do remember someone did ask you, did he deserve it? And you said yes, he does deserve it. No, and while you were like looking for him, you're like, have you seen my friend? Have you seen my friend? Asking people. And then nobody saw him, and then nobody saw him. And then you were like, there was this guy, he just got maced, I'm looking for him. And the guy was like, did he deserve it? And you were like, yes, he did. Was that just you? Was that just you? And I remember you saying that. I remember you saying that. Alright, this person named Cringe Dono says, I heard you have a unique blowjob technique. What's the origin of that? They also say that they haven't even watched your porn. It was simply just rumors. Yes, Cringe don't know. Please let us know. Zero Cool. Ask Vegan if... Oh, wait, I already asked you that one. Zero Cool donates again and says, Alice, ask Vegan if the producers or anyone involved were Jewish. Not being anti-Semitic or anything. Just wondering. Also, will you go on a date with me if I buy you a drift car? Also, ask Vegan why she maced that dude. This one isn't in caps, so it was a bit less intimidating. But he donated that twice. I don't know why. He probably just wanted it to be TTS, but she can't even hear TTS. That's why I'm reading it. Alright, Giga Chad says, will she denounce pornography right now, full stop, without equivocation?